Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Yo Kids Podcast. Before we get started, quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors who definitely helped us along our way on this lovely travel that we did around the nation. Classical Conversations is a curriculum provider that is mission to ensure that you never homeschool alone. They are located literally everywhere. They were at all of the expos. We have one more to go, and they will be there too. And also Base Camped, which is a brand new app that is something like Zillow, but for homeschoolers. Like you can check out homeschool resources near you as well as homeschool families near you. So definitely download it. It's free. And today we have with us Adrian and Lee. Ladies, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lee Norwood. I'm the founder of College Sharks. We are an online college prep platform that helps homeschool families have a college counselor on hand through the junior and senior year so that we lower that stress through the process. And here is my expert partner, Adrian.
Hi, I'm Adriane Donkers, and I homeschooled my kids all the way through from kindergarten to grade 12. They both graduated college. One just completed her master's. And so I've been down the road of applying to college as a homeschooler. So look
Well,
forward to
thank
sharing
you.
information.
Yes, thank you, ladies, for being here because college is a always on, especially new homeschoolers or thinking about it, homeschoolers. They're always like, well, if I homeschool, can my child go to college? And it's like, absolutely. We've had a lot of veteran homeschoolers who have, call it from the rooter to the tutor, have homeschooled from the rooter to the tutor, from K through 12, and they always have success stories. With their children doing amazing things and not only going to college, but also getting money to go to college. So I'm happy to have you all. Can I speak or ask you a little bit about your homeschool experience and why you chose to homeschool, Adrian?
Sure. Yes. So I actually spent a year investigating homeschooling before I made the decision. It was going to be a big change for our family, as it is for all families. And I have a special needs child, and that was really the reason I started homeschooling. And because I just wasn't finding a great solution for schools for public or private schools in our area that were affordable. That's part of it. But anyway, and there was a lot of other things in our family for the reason for choosing to homeschool. And I don't, it's not always right for the parents or right for the students. Some families, one homeschools and one doesn't. You have to decide for each of your kids what is the right choice. So I did homeschool all the way through K through 12. I started with my own eclectic approach. And then as I got older, I moved into a tutoring program that's local to us where somebody else was teaching, but I had to work with my kids, help them with assignments. I did all the grading. Some of the subjects I did on my own. And then they both graduated and moved on to college. So.
Nice, college, college. And so, Lee, what made you start College Sharks? How do we get here as far as where you're at?
Well, thanks for asking. We help a lot of students go to college and get through that college admissions process because it's stressful. We are one-on-one counselors for that mission. And I wanted to reach more people and I wanted to reach the homeschool group because you guys like to do it yourself. You like to figure things out. And it's a little bit of a different process. So Adrian and I came together and we have College Sharks, which drops monthly information, tells you kind of what to do, when to do it, and why it's important, but also adding that homeschool piece because you have to be the college counselor. You have to have all the right paperwork. So what we did is put it into a wonderful asynchronous learning platform where you click on our lessons and you learn. There's a workbook that becomes your college application at the end. And we did it because it's only two of us, and we have to duplicate ourselves because there are thousands of people that can use the guidance.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so this is a platform that not only educates but walks them through the process of applying to college.
Yes, we start the junior year and drop monthly content just so you're not overwhelmed. What do you need to know right now? What do you need to do right now? Why is that important? There's a 2-year timeline. And then there's an additional homeschool to college piece for when you're ready to apply the things that families need to think about, and also adding the community college piece, and then adding the community college to transfer to a 4-year college, because there's a lot of places where you can get stuck or spend too much time or get too many credits that don't transfer. So there's a lot of subtle nuances, and we just try to allow you to have one place to go to get all the information and feel like you have support. We also have like an online Facebook group, and we'll answer your questions within 24 hours. So that's kind of helpful. It's like you have an assistant, but you're still doing it yourself. So I'm a college expert. I see probably 50 colleges a year. Adrian saw 50 colleges in the first half of this year. So we also know what the colleges are looking for, and we know that there's a lot of different tracks and there's no one right way to go. So we just want you to be prepared regardless of what your final decision is.
Nice, nice. And do you all focus on dual enrollment? Because I know you said you start the junior year, but I know a lot of homeschoolers in particular are often already, headstrong into their associates by the time they finish at 18.
Yes. So yeah, we do help students with that as well, because it is important for students to be taking the right courses in their community college journey, because you need to kind of have a plan in mind of where you want to go after this, because sometimes courses don't actually transfer to a 4-year school, or minimum grades are required. And so that type of information is important to know in advance, because I do see students sometimes take courses that don't end up transferring, or they don't take them in the right sequence. Both my kids actually started at community college as well. So I have that experience of the transfer process. Transferring to a school is very similar to applying as a first-year student. Also, I should also mention, when you do enrollment, those count as high school courses. So you're actually not a transfer student at that point. You would still apply as a first-year student. It's anything you take after high school, after you graduate, that might put you in the transfer category. Depends on the college you're applying to. There's a lot of it depends, because it all depends on the college you're applying to. So, and Lee and I spend a lot of time, as she said, visiting colleges, but on information sessions, learning about colleges and the process and what they are looking for. So.
Gotcha. As a homeschool mom, Adrian, how early did you start talking to your kids about college? Like how early was that discussion?
It was quite early. I mean, both my husband and I have grad degrees, and we knew college gave us opportunities that helped us in our careers and as well financially, because still financially, college, people who attend college generally make more money, less unemployment. So that was important for us. We did run into the situation of my child with special needs, and I was like, can he go to college? I didn't know what that was going to be like. And so I started that process and looking at that in grade 8, when he was in grade 8, actually.
Okay.
Because I was trying to figure that out, because I was worried. I was definitely worried about it. And, we had to take a different path, but it's understanding your child and what is the right path for them. And sometimes I tell families, you should probably take a gap year, or maybe you should do this instead to develop that experience, or help, why don't you explore this for a while? to see if that is something you really want to do. So, so I think it is important to start early. So,
Yeah.
and
And I
get the
just,
right courses.
indeed, I just learned the gap year phrase, I think last year or the year before, because I feel like it is necessary now. Like, with so many different options and different things being presented to our youth as possibilities for their career, I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like, ill practice for us to make them jump right back into school after having finished school. And some barely finishing school and still wanting to talk about college. And it's like, wait, hold on, because you struggle through this. Like, do you understand how independent college is? Because I'm a former public school teacher, and I taught 12th grade my last couple of years. And it was just like a lot of them were like, oh, I'm gonna go to college. And it's like, well, what you gonna do there? it's,
Yeah.
it's like, well, what are we going for? Like,
I mean,
I
college
giggle.
can be used as an exploration period with courses, but I think also some experiences outside of college can help with that as well. So,
indeed.
We call it a pause with a purpose. And I'm on a singular quest to make golf a 9-hole game and make college start when kids are 20, because these 17-year-olds, their frontal lobe's not even closed. And some of them you think, oh, I'm going to turn you loose at a college. That's a lot of new stimulus, especially as a homeschooler, that you have not been used to. So I also advocate for making sure they're ready. And now, with this gap year and all of these new programs that are a little bit more structured, it's a really awesome time for kids to grow, learn who they are, and maybe have a better first step into higher education. Their brains are ready.
Yes, Lee, I love that you said that. Because I know a couple of my students would go, and register at the local college. And even after their first, second semester, they're in and they're like, yeah, Miss Carter, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I don't know why I'm here. Or I've even had someone say, I wish somebody would have walked me through this more. Wish somebody would have asked me more questions in pertaining to this. Because I know, speaking from experience with my personal college journey, it was always embedded in me that I was going to go to college. Like that was just a thing. And it's like, okay, you're going to college. And so it's like, okay, well, I know that I'm going. So what am I going to do there? And I promise it was probably not until I knew I wanted to be a teacher. However, I didn't know what I wanted to teach until probably like when I was enrolling into college. And I was like, well, I love to read. So let's go with English. Let's go there. But essentially, it was just like I was pleasing my parents.
right, right. And I
So,
think, sometimes when people are thinking about careers where they are going to be with people all day, like you think about psychology or teachers, I think great experiences for that is go work in a camp where you're with kids all day and see
right.
if that's what you really want to do. So see if volunteer in organizations where you are helping and supporting, and is that the direction you should be going? So
Yeah, I like that, Adrian, because it does come down to experience. Because even college does what college does. It provides you with the credentials to be able to apply for certain jobs. But however, it still always comes down to experience and you actually getting in the field and learning as you go. Because you could read all day every day about how to fix a heart artery or fix a dog's foot, or teach kids, like, but until you're actually doing it, it's like, oh well, in the book it said, but you don't fit that criteria. Like, you're not that person, so what
right.
do I have to do? So yeah, I
Mhm.
like that. I like the intern, like interning in a sense.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. So, okay. So you all are holding hands. You all are walking them through, getting them started, or even doing evaluations as far as what it is that they are going to do? Like, how does this start, and how does the road look when people tap into College Sharks?
So when you tap in, the journey to college is the same for everyone as far as what you need to do. So the fact that our process is online, you have a little less hand holding in the sense of talking to people. So through College Sharks, we have opportunities to spend a few hours with Adrian, because no matter what, it's no AI, computers, whatever, this is still a human process. These are people and they need to talk. And as great as our Facebook group is that will give you answers, sometimes you want to be with that child, with that family, and talk them through pieces. So we do have the opportunity where you can meet one-on-one with Adrian, who is the expert. There are also lots of different games that we play, whether it's preferences of what you see your life being later, or assessments like the Berkman assessment. And Adrian has a couple others that just kind of challenge you to figure out what are your own intrinsic abilities that just come naturally to you. So therefore, this career is going to be good for you. And therefore, this college path and major will get you there, so that we're using the skill set that God gave you, right? So as much as I would love to say College Sharks will do it all for you, it is nice to have a person to talk to, and that person is Adrian. So we do make that available.
Okay. And do you all handle scholarships and locating funds?
So we do share with families resources for scholarships, okay, and do explain where families are going to get most of that money. And it actually is from the college in the form of merit aid. And so it's important to understand what that looks like at different colleges. I think scholarships are fine to go after, but I think a family needs to know that it is quite a bit of work to find and apply for those scholarships. So we always say it's best to go after the money at the college. So.
Oh, to determine what college you're going to go to, and then
where are you going to get the most merit aid, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. The merit is the merit aid that you get is really based on picking the right school for your student. Merit aid is a discount off of tuition that a college will offer a student because they want to attract that student to the college. So that comes down to the quality of your application. Most colleges have a merit aid section on their website. I urge you to go and look at it. Some are as clear as, with these GPA and this testing number, you get this money. Some have specific requirements from homeschool kids, but that tuition discount is the most money you'll ever get off. So think of like University of Alabama, you can get up to $25,000 off of tuition if you hit certain marks. So that is merit aid. There's another piece, which is financial need-based aid. And the proxy for that is the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. You fill that out in usually October. They keep moving the date around, but you fill that out, and that looks at your family income, resources, et cetera, not your retirement, but those resources to see if you qualify for a Pell Grant from the government, if you qualify to do work study, if you qualify for 2 small loans from the government. One is subsidized, which means the government pays the interest. The other is a low interest rate that starts as you take that money. So that would come from the government. But that number that you get from the FAFSA is your student aid index. And often, if that number is low enough, the colleges also have more money to give to fill that need gap. So you've got financial need, you've got merit aid, and then you have outside scholarships. The first 2 I mentioned are the ones that are going to give you the money. And that's finding the right school that matches with your student and your family's needs.
Okay. Gotcha. Because I know that's a hot button conversation right now, as far as people going to college and obtaining a lot of debt and not being purposeful after they finish, or if they don't finish, just having debt. And so it's like, okay, how best can we attack this, higher education without putting our children where we are, essentially? Because I know I acquired plenty of debt of all my lovely pieces of paper. Um, a lot of money. So if my children were to take that route, I would want to make sure that it's established in a manner that would leave them a little more at ease. Because think about graduating college and you know that you owe 80,000 or however much money you owe, and it's just like, okay, I gotta hurry up and get a job, not a fulfilling job, but just a job in general that is going to help me pay this off. Because that's my focus right now. Because they're going to start sending these bills 6 months after, like they start sending them quickly. So it's like, okay, well, what do I do? How can I do it quickly to be able to get this weight off my back?
Yeah, it's true. The whole financial piece is an entire piece. We do a live webinar about it every year, and then send out the transcript and the video from that. So if you're on our mailing list, you'll get that automatically. But it comes down to which schools did you choose. So a great way to go is, first 2 years at community college, that's a lower price, making sure you're taking the right schools that will articulate to the college you want to go to, and then that the college has what you want, and you look at more than one, and maybe more than the ones that are in your brain. There might be some schools down the road, 3 states away, that are looking exactly for a kid like you, and they're going to lower their tuition for you. So broadening your horizons and looking beyond what you know, whether that's from the television, your friends, just schools that people throw around all the time. There's 3,000 of them. And all kids can go to college if they want to. They just have to find the right school for them. And then there's one thing I just want to put a caveat here. There's something called the Parent Plus loan that a school will add onto your financial aid report. And it is a loan, and it is an extremely expensive loan, but they don't run credit. So they give it to everybody. So now it's like that high interest rate credit card, right? Like, they didn't even run credit. Sure, we'll give you this credit line. So be careful about those. There are other ways to fund college.
And just going back to what Lee said about finding a good match, there's finding a good financial match, but there's also finding a good match for the student, because the goal is to help the student to be successful in 4 years, right? And if the school is not a good match or doesn't give the support that the student needs, then that's just going to take them longer. That's when they drop out. That's when they want to transfer. And that just extends the time and ends up making it more expensive. Mm-hmm. So, I work with a lot of students with learning differences. And so it's important to find a good match for the students so they are successful. And so that is a big goal of ours. So.
Indeed. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into selecting. Let's talk transcripts real quick, because I know that's always like a question that parents have. How can they shape their transcripts to meet these colleges that are, the ones that are homeschooling? How can they make it so that their kids they look good on paper, basically?
Sure. Yeah. So certainly schools are going to be looking for the 5 core courses. So English, math, sciences, social sciences, and foreign language. Okay. So we usually say 4 years of the 5 core. Okay. And doing well in those courses. A lot of colleges actually recalculate GPAs. And they all have their own formula. We never know what that formula is, but they do recalculate GPAs, but doing well in those 5 core. And then there's the electives that you do, and beyond that. They don't care about your PE grade, they don't care about some of those electives, okay? It's those academic courses. So make sure your student's doing well in those. As part of the homeschool package, you got to show proof that your student grew in their journey of their academics, that they grew in their journey of extracurriculars. And, they're involved. Colleges are always looking for students who are involved, who want to be part of the college, who are going to add to the college experience. And so if you're doing those things during your high school journey, then that's going to help in your application. So there are components that a homeschooler needs to add in addition to what public school or private school students need to do, such as course descriptions or a school profile, a counselor letter of recommendation. Those are all important parts of the application to help show the strength of your student.
And College Sharks, because I do see the Annapolis College Consulting, is it for everyone as far as nationwide, or is it just for Maryland?
I think.
But what's the question? Like who can use it? Anyone across the country.
Okay.
Yes, we work with kids from all across the country. The nice thing about it being online is we don't have to worry about time changes. So that's pretty cool, but it's a platform that you log into and the content drops. You can never really go too far forward, but you can always go back and look at the information, and the workbook is really nice. And then of course the additional homeschool to college pieces that I think the parents will be a little bit more interested in, where the College Sharks, the student, will watch a lot of the videos as well, and it will really help them. And then if they want one-on-one help, that kind of falls under our main business, which is Annapolis College Consulting, which is just named after a city, but it doesn't matter. We work with kids across the world with that piece.
Okay. So Adrian, you are headstrong in this. You are the expert in college.
We both are. We both do work with consultants one-on-one. And then there's the College Sharks, the online platform. I do the homeschooling because I have that experience. I've lived it. I know what parents go through. Yes, so that is my expertise. And then, I've worked with many transfer students as well as students with learning differences. We always, when we're working with families one-on-one, consider who would be the best consultant to work with that person. So
Gotcha. Nice. And let me ask you, Adrian, when you first initially started homeschooling, were you already headstrong set on doing it all the way through 12th grade, or did it take,
No,
okay.
no, I took it year by year.
Okay.
And and I'm sure, like every other homeschool parent, I at times ask myself, why am I doing this? on those days when your kids don't want to, especially when they're younger, don't want to, do the schoolwork or, I ended up working through it as I made more connections. I always say, I definitely think it was the right choice for my son. I feel like my daughter could have gone anywhere. Like she could have homeschooled, she could have gone public, private, So we just ended up homeschooling both of them. It made our life a little more manageable when both were doing that. Yeah, so, and I do see families who change from year to year, who say, okay, well, the student wants to go into public school, so they do. And they do that maybe for 2 years and they go, okay, actually, I did kind of like the homeschooling life, so let me go back to homeschooling. So it varies. So there are families who have mixed transcripts, and I guide them through that. So
Okay, where they have the couple years at home as well as the couple years in the traditional school setting.
yeah.
Nice.
As well as, as like we mentioned earlier, the community college, right?
Yes,
Have
the
the
dual
community
enrollment.
college. So how do you put that all together in a package and share that with the universities? So
Okay, so y'all are packaging it up. Y'all are helping the parents and students because it's College Sharks. It's for both, right? It's courses that both can go through.
yes.
It's for both the parents and the kids. It's fun. None of the videos are longer than 12 minutes because we understand having to keep people's attention. There's the workbook. Sometimes there's sheets to help you get through an activity. They're really informative to just let you know you're on the right track. And then the 2-year timeline is helpful because then you're not feeling stressful about things that you don't need to worry about yet. There are some things in College Sharks that tend to push towards the traditional school route, which is why on the side we have the homeschool to college pieces with Adrian kind of explaining some things. So you're going to come to the table very prepared. You're still going to have questions, but you're going to come to the table prepared. And yes, it's for parents and kids.
Do you find it easy for homeschool families or homeschool students to get into college?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. They are accepted just as much as public and private school students, but you just got to make sure you're sharing the right information with the colleges. So,
okay.
Because, from a college perspective, they know the high schools for this, the admissions rep knows the high schools for the region they are involved in. So colleges assign their admissions reps to a region. They know those high schools, they know those public schools, private schools, but they don't know your homeschool, right? They do often have a person who is responsible for reading the homeschool applications, but every homeschool journey is different. And so they have to have an understanding of what that is, and they like parents to provide as much information as they can without overdoing it. I talk to families about that. You don't need a 100-page document explaining your homeschooling journey. So
bringing all their
they only have
portfolios.
so much time to read it.
Yes.
or even a 50-page document. They don't need that either. But they want to understand, what did this student do during their high school years? What was their journey? How did they grow? How did they get involved? How are they going to come to this college and contribute to the college? So,
Indeed. And that's generally like in a good personal statement.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said that's generally like in a good personal statement. How
it can be personal statement, but picking your recommender, who's going to write your letter of recommendation, because you do need to have those, right? So this is where it helps to have at least two, I say outside teachers who have taught your student a class, who can talk about your student's strengths, right? So they will need that as well, recommendations. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Personal essay, there's also supplemental essays that kids need to write for colleges, not all colleges, but some colleges, and some of those questions might be, well, why are you a good fit for our college? So you have to know how to answer that.
So College Sharks is alleviating the stress that all parents, even homeschool, traditional school, just the stress of getting our kids into college.
Mm-hmm. Yes. If I had an elevator speech, I would say that I save mother-daughter relationships all the time.
Really?
Because they don't argue with the College Sharks. And our tagline is taking a bite out of college admissions, because it's supposed to be fun. It's the next 4 years of your life or 2 years of your life. So just having knowledge, that alleviates stress right there, because you're not guessing. Yeah. But every student's journey has subtle nuances particularly to them. But you guys can all do it. Your kids can go to college. It will be great, but know what to do so you're not spinning your wheels or wasting time doing things that don't need to be done. So just kind of knowing what's expected and staying within those train tracks, it's a good idea.
Or money, because those applications are not free. So
no.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the work you ladies are doing. How do we find College Sharks?
So you can go to www.collegesharks.com. That will just kind of show you our curriculum and things like that. But I urge you to go to the group on Facebook called College Sharks. That's where Adrian and I can answer any questions you might have. And if you want to ask us any questions, you can send them. I guess the best way is lee@collegesharks.com. I'll get Adrian on board and we're happy to answer some questions or guide you on what we think the best next steps are for you. And if you do that, we'll send you the 2-year timeline as well.
Can I ask you about the name? Why call it Sharks?
Because there's all different kinds of sharks. First of all, sharks swim in international waters. Sharks are like the top of the food chain, and a shark doesn't have to be male, female, Hispanic, Asian, nothing. It's just a shark. So everyone can identify. So if you want to be a hammerhead shark, rock on. I might be a nurse shark. Somebody else might be a whale shark, but we liked it. And also, in this world of computers and SEO, the name pops and everybody can spell it.
The answer. And Lee loves the beach. And I love it. And Lee lives living on the ocean. So
okay. No, I love it. I was thinking like hunters, because sharks hunt and
absolutely
in charge of the ocean, so to speak. And so that's what I was thinking. Oh, we're gonna find it. Whatever it is, we're gonna find it.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Help you swim to find your college.
Indeed. 2 more questions before I let you ladies go. One, with all that you do and are assisting with, because getting into college is not, a simple task by no means, and you're doing it with thousands of families. How do you ladies self-care? How do you take care and make sure you're recharged and replenished?
I'll go. I do hot Pilates Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I love it. I sweat out all the trouble, and I walk my dog.
And I get on my treadmill, do my yoga, and that's kind of right now. Things are busy, but that's kind of my life right now outside of working with students. I love working with the students. Love helping them talk about brainstorming essays. It's always great to know them. Their personalities, they're also different. So
indeed. And last question. If parents didn't hear anything else, our listeners didn't hear anything else during this conversation, what are 3 things you want to leave them with? And each one of you can give your 3 things, but what are 3 things you want them to leave this conversation with?
You go first, Adrian.
I'll start with one, and that is the college process is different from when you attended college. So it has changed. There's a lot more nuances. It's not like everybody's applying to your local state college and going to be able to get in to your flagship. It has completely changed from that point of view. So I think it's important to understand that as a parent. So you next, Lee.
I would say if you didn't take anything else from here, understand that the most money you're going to get towards the cost of admission is going to come from the college itself. So don't spend your time chasing all these $500 scholarships. Find the right school and put together the best application you can. Once you're in, then the gloves are off. We have lots of resources to find those smaller scholarships, but that's where the money is. And understand the free application for federal student aid, which is the FAFSA, and it looks at your tax returns from the year prior. So if you're the class of 2026, it's going to look at your income from 2024. If you're the class of 2027, it's going to look at your income from 2025. So 2 years prior to your graduation date, and it's an automated process. There's no downside to doing it, but don't leave money on the table, because I've always said a broken, brilliant kid is almost my favorite, because big schools, highly selective schools, meet 100% of need. So don't think just because your income is low, your student can't come to college. They may have a low student aid index. And schools like Harvard, if they can get in, will meet 100% of your financial need. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. There's some place for everybody.
Nice. Keep it going, Adrian.
And there's no perfect college. There are pros and cons to every college. And just remember that your student can be happy at many different colleges, but it is still important to find the right fit. And there's no number one college that your student has to get into. They will they will have success at a lot of different colleges. So as long as it's a good fit.
And I'll leave you with this one. This is what I say at the end of every podcast. Check your email. Once you're in the college process, that's how they're going to communicate, through emails and through portals. Yes, another portal, another password, another login. You have got to go in and check it and find it, because that is how they communicate. So you don't want to miss an opportunity for a scholarship or miss an opportunity for an interview or anything like that because you didn't check your portal. So check your emails, check your portals.
And I'll just add one more: start early enough. You just add to the stress by starting too late in the process. We do like to start students in their junior year. We do have some students who come to us earlier to talk about their path. And I think that's even more important actually with homeschoolers, to make sure they're getting those courses that are needed, because they don't have the counselor at the school telling you, well, you need to have this, you need to have that, right? So just start early enough that you are not causing yourself more stress by all of a sudden going, I need to do applications. Oh no, what do I do? So I need to find colleges. Oh no, how do I do that? So
start early. Yes, yes. And tap in the college sharks, because they are here to assist you. You do not have to do it alone. And that's the big thing. Especially with, sometimes we send our kids because we think, they're 18, that they're ready to handle a process extraneous as entering into a 4-year college. Don't make them do it alone. Like, tap into college sharks. Make sure you get the support that's needed, because this is not a journey to take alone on any route of any road of any adventure. We need each other. So definitely always, always seek the support that you need for your success and your kids' success, because that is what it's all about. So thank you, ladies. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for helping families. We really appreciate you.
Thanks, Jay. This has been great. Great questions. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. Thank you. And listeners, homeschool your kids.